Hello friends. Today, I'm going to explain the second episode of the Lady in the Lake series, titled, It Has to Do with the Search for the Marvelous. If you haven't watched the first episode of this crime mystery series yet, make sure to check it out on my channel so you can understand the story better. The episode begins with a flashback to 1947, where Maddie is in an art studio, looking at a painting. Suddenly, her boyfriend, Alan Durst, appears. Friends, Alan Durst is the father of Tessie Durst, whose body Maddie found by the lake. From their conversation, we learn that Maddie is soon going to meet Alan's mother. The scene shifts to the Durst family, where Alan's mother and Maddie are talking. Alan's mother is an artist by profession, while Maddie is a reporter. As they are chatting, Alan's father enters, informing his wife that there's an important call for her. Mrs. Durst goes to take the call, leaving Maddie and Hal Durst to talk. Hal praises Maddie's article and gives her ideas on how to engage in a conversation with his wife. A little later, Mrs. Durst returns, and after a brief conversation, Maddie prepares to leave. Before going, she goes to thank Mr. Durst in his room, where she notices a painting of a girl swimming naked in a lake. The scene then shifts back to the present, where Maddie is crying over Tessie's body. Just then, Judith arrives with the police. The police start questioning Maddie about how she knew Tessie would be found there. The scene shifts to the police station, where officers are interrogating Maddie and Judith. Here, a black policeman named Platt notices Maddie. Two police officers offer to take Maddie home, and one of them makes advances towards her. The scene shifts to Gordian Hotel, where Reggie and Cleo drop Dora off in her room. Dora is completely intoxicated and tells Cleo that she is leaving the city for Paris. From their conversation, we learn that Dora has been singing at Gordon's hotel since she was 16. She has a relationship with Reggie, takes drugs, and places bets using a red book. Friends, all of Gordon's betting operations are based on this book, called The Genuine Dream Book. Dora urges Cleo to place a bet, but Cleo says she wants to earn money honestly. To this, Dora responds that Cleo believes Myrtle Summers honest, but Gordon had funded her campaign. Cleo then goes to the accounting room and checks the old records from 1964, where Myrtle Summers' name also appears. The scene shifts back to Maddie, who arrives home to find her mother trying to resolve their argument. After a while, they all attend Tessie's funeral. Tessie's mother comes over and hugs Maddie, crying, while Seth walks away upon seeing this. The scene then shifts to the house of the white man, who was in the fish shop with Tessie in the first episode. His name is Stefan, and from his actions, it's clear he's somewhat mentally unstable. Stefan fills a bathtub with small fish, wears a mask, and sits in it. His mother arrives and beats him. Meanwhile, Cleo visits Myrtle Summers' office, where a girl from the Afro newspaper is waiting to interview Cleo. Cleo tells her she wants to talk to Summer first. Cleo asks Summer for a full-time job so she won't have to work for Gordon anymore. However, Summer refuses, saying that working for Gordon would damage her reputation. Cleo counters by revealing that Summer also took money from Gordon, to which Summer admits she did before, but doesn't anymore. She tells Cleo that she will have to wait for her opportunity to become something. Cleo then gives her interview and mentions how the world has given her two choices: either preserve her dignity or feed her children. This shocks everyone, especially Summer. Meanwhile, Maddie tries to sell her car for money, but everyone tells her she needs her husband's signature. Exhausted, she devises a plan where she hides her ring and files a police report claiming it was stolen so she can collect the insurance money. Meanwhile, Cleo goes to Gordon's office and tells him she will do anything to feed her children and is willing to handle all his accounts. Gordon asks her to meet him tonight at the Faro Club and to bring her husband along. As Cleo leaves, she sees her elder son sitting with those who talk about betting and the dream book, which angers her, and she takes him away. On the other hand, Maddie is waiting outside her house for the police. Platt and his partner arrive, inspect her home, and tell her that a detective will be sent to investigate. Platt also informs her that at the police station, everyone was suspecting her, but the post-mortem revealed that gravel from a fish tank was found under Tessie's nails, and the police are going to arrest a suspect tomorrow. The two then go to a nearby restaurant where Platt calls the detective and leaves. Meanwhile, Cleo asks her husband to come with her tonight. Maddie, while cleaning her room, is visited by a man named Bob from the newspaper The Star. He asks her for water and the story of Tessie's case, to which Maddie only reveals that there will be an arrest tomorrow. The scene shifts to the Faro nightclub, where we see Dora, Cleo, Reggie, Platt, Slappy, and Gordon. A man hands Reggie 2 envelopes filled with money. Meanwhile, Stefan has tied up his mother in the fish shop, and the police are outside pointing guns at him. Reporters and a crowd gather outside, and the police start shooting, causing Stefan to cry. He sees Tessie standing in front of him, holding a fish and showing it to him. Stefan and his mother then start walking outside, with his mother asking the police not to shoot. The scene shifts back to Maddie, who is reading the news about this in the Star newspaper. She's sitting with Judith, discussing the case. Meanwhile, at the nightclub, Slappy is waiting backstage for his turn, and Cleo comes to talk to him. Gordon announces Slappy on stage, and everyone listens to his jokes. Meanwhile, Reggie takes the opportunity to give money to Platt's partner, who tells Reggie that the police are looking for a black man with an injured eye, so he should stay out of sight for a few days. Reggie then goes inside and hands Cleo an envelope, asking her to deliver it to an address. Meanwhile, Platt heads towards Maddie's house with his partner. The scene shows Cleo arriving at a flat owned by a man named Duke. There, she sees that there are 3 other men, along with many pigeons and guns. Cleo gives Duke the envelope, which he opens to find a lot of money and a photo of Myrtle Summer. Duke burns the photo and tells Cleo that she will be driving for them tonight because their driver is drunk. Cleo refuses and tries to escape, but Duke points a gun at her, scaring her into agreeing. The scene shifts back to Maddie, who is smoking with Judith, while Judith recites a poem, triggering Maddie's memories of her past. Officer Platt arrives, Judith leaves, and Platt tells Maddie that there's no trace of her ring, so she might get the insurance money. Maddie then invites Platt inside for a beer, and they end up getting intimate. Meanwhile, Cleo is driving with the men in the car. Duke instructs her to stop in front of a house, which turns out to be Myrtle Summers. Seeing this, Cleo understands everything. Duke orders one of the men to shoot, but he refuses. Duke then tells another man to shoot the first one if he doesn't do it. The 2 men go inside and shoot at Summer, but someone inside returns fire, hitting one of them. Scared, they start to flee, and Cleo runs away, abandoning the car. And with that, this episode ends. To find out what happens next in this story, stay tuned with us. If you enjoyed this explanation, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.